Good morning, everyone. Today, let's start off with frequency response analysis. Okay, so we will be talking about Bode plots and the other stuff. So, just let me directly go to the screen. Okay, frequency domain analysis and stability. So this is a part of the syllabus which we are going to study here. Frequency domain analysis and stability, correlation between time and frequency response, Bode plots, experimental determination of transfer function. Now, all these days we were studying about the time response analysis, time domain specifications. So here we are going to study about the frequency response analysis and frequency domain specifications, some problems based on that, and Bode plots. And before we actually get into Bode plots, we have to study about some specifications of these frequency responses so that we can make use of these responses when finding out the or when we are using the technique called Bode plots. So now here the first topic is frequency response analysis. So what is frequency response analysis? As you can see here, the definition for the frequency response analysis goes this way. It is the steady state output of a system to a sinusoidal input. So sinusoidal input can be a cosine or a sine wave. So you at the input you provide a sinusoidal input which can be a cosine wave or a sine wave, and you're going to see the output of the system, the steady state output of a system to the sinusoidal input. So here you can see that the system that we have considered is a linear time invariant system which has a transfer function g of s. So there is an input and there is an output. And what is the input, which is represented by r of t, is given by a sine omega t. A is the amplitude, this is the sinusoidal signal, omega is the frequency, and this is the time. It is given to the LTI system which has a transfer function g of s. And what is the output that you see here? It is defined by c of t, which is equal to a dash sine of omega t plus phi. That means now what is that you can observe? The input is a sine omega t, but the output there is a change in amplitude. A is changed from a to a dash, and along with omega t you have a phase which is getting added up here. So the input is a sine omega t and the output is output of the LTI system with a transfer function of g of s is given by c of t is equal to a dash sine of omega t plus phi. So here a dash is change in amplitude and phi is the phase which is getting added up at the output. So here we analyze change in amplitude and phase at output with input as sinusoidal due to LTI system. So now I hope you understood what is this frequency response analysis. So here we are going to study the change in amplitude as well as change in phase or but not in frequency, and we are going to see what is the actual response, and here we are going to consider a second order system, LTI system, which is of second order control system. Okay, so now consider linear time invariant system having transfer function g of s in frequency domain. Then, so what is the input signal here? It is given by r of t is equal to a sine omega t. To get response, place s is equal to j omega. So here, wherever we have s, okay, there we are going to replace it by j omega. So g of s was the transfer function in the LTI system. So s is replaced by j omega. So g of j omega is equal to, you will be finding out two factors in this. One is the amplitude factor and one is the phase factor. So how is amplitude defined here? Mode of g of j omega, that is mod of g of j omega, modulus. And angle is defined like this, the phase angle, which is angle G of j omega. So two factors are very important which we are going to study and which gives the frequency response analysis of the control system. So what is output? It is C of t. You know C of t is what? From the figure that we have taken here, the block diagram, it is R of t into G of s. So what is R of t? It is A sine omega t, and G of s is nothing but G of j omega, which is given by mod of G of j omega into angle G of j omega. Now multiply these terms. A into, this is the amplitude factor, so A into mod of G of j omega into sine of omega t plus angle G of j omega. So which is equal to A dash, because we are getting a new amplitude term, so I will replace this entire term by A dash, which indicates change in amplitude due to system frequency response, into sine of omega t plus phi, where phi indicates change in phase due to system frequency response. Okay, so this is about the output of the control system. So to analyze frequency response, we have different techniques. So I told you, to analyze this frequency response, we have different techniques such as Bode plot, polar plot, Nyquist plot, and Nicholas chart. So Bode plot is one such technique which we will be starting off with. So to analyze the frequency response, we have different techniques, and to start off with, let us consider the Bode plot. But before we actually go into the Bode plot, I told you that we will study about the frequency response specifications. So frequency response specifications, you have magnitude and phase of second order control system. Just a moment, I'll just a minute. Okay, are you all able to see the screen? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So I'll just okay. Okay, so here you can see the to start off with frequency response specifications, we have many parameters to consider. One is magnitude and phase. Then we have to consider the what is that resonant frequency. Okay, and then we have omega terms, frequency terms. Then we have zeta terms. So there are, and then there is bandwidth. So all this we have to find out before we actually go into the Bode plots. So now frequency response specifications. Let's see the magnitude and phase of second order control system for frequency response analysis. So as I told you, for all our explanation of the specifications or the parameters, we are going to consider a second order control system. So remember, we had studied in module 2 and not module 2, module 3 about the second order control system. The transfer function T of s is equal to C of s by R of s, which is equal to omega n square by s square plus 2 zeta omega n into s plus omega n square. So this was the equation which we had derived when we studied about the second order control system. So just straight away write down that expression for second order control system. So why this is second order? Because S is having a maximum power of 2. So this is second order control system. Now, okay. So consider that. And what is the first step here in frequency response analysis? You have to replace wherever S is there with j omega. So take this as T of j omega, which is equal to omega n square divided by j omega the whole square plus 2 zeta omega n into j omega plus omega n square. So what is this? T of j omega is equal to omega n square divided by j square will be minus 1, so it is minus omega square plus I will take this term first, that is omega n square, plus I will bring the j in the front and put it in the brackets 2 zeta omega n into omega. So now this implies T of j omega is equal to, now take out omega n square as common. So when you take out omega n square as common from both the numerator and the denominator, those terms will get cancelled. And you can see here what you get, 1 divided by this omega n square. If I take it here, this becomes 1 minus omega by omega n the whole square plus j times 2 zeta omega by omega n, because you have omega n square. So 1 omega n in the numerator and 1 omega n in the denominator gets cancelled, and you will be left with 2 zeta omega by omega n. So this is the basic simplification, but you should do as per our requirement. Okay, so here I'll just repeat this step: omega n square by j omega the whole square plus 2 zeta omega n into j omega plus omega n square. Then j square will be minus 1, so it is minus omega square plus omega n square plus j times 2 zeta omega n omega. Then what is that I have done? I have taken out omega n square, both common from the numerator as well as denominator. So those two terms will get cancelled, and you'll be left with 1 in the numerator, followed by, first if I consider omega n square by omega n square will be 1. So this is 1 minus omega by omega n the whole square plus j times 2 zeta. This is omega n into omega divided by omega n square. So you will be left out with omega by omega n. So this is how we have simplified. Then consider omega by omega n as x. Just for the simplicity in writing the expression, let us replace this term by x. So that will give you T of j omega is equal to 1 by 1 minus x square plus j times 2 zeta x, which is equal to, which is of the form you can write it as 1 by a plus jb, where a is what, 1 minus x square, and b is 2 zeta x. So we will just write it as 1 by a plus jb. So for magnitude, what is that? You know, for magnitude and phase, how it is computed, right? So for magnitude, mod of t is equal to 1 divided by square root of, if you want to consider the magnitude, then it should be square root of these coefficients, a square plus b square, which is equal to 1 divided by, in place of a you have 1 by x square, so square root of 1 by x square the whole square minus 2 zeta um, x the whole square. So this is how you write it. For phase, how do you write? The angle T is equal to minus. Why minus? Because you have these terms in the denominator. So that is why we are going to write it as minus. If it was in numerator, it would have just been positive. Since it is this thing is present in the denominator, we will take it up as minus tan inverse of b by a. So that is equal to minus tan inverse of, what is b? 2 zeta x divided by 1 minus x square. A is 1 minus x square. Okay. So where x is equal to omega by omega n. So this was about the magnitude and phase of a second order control system. So these formulas you should remember. Okay. These final formulas what we have derived here, you have to remember them. So that is about magnitude and phase plot of the second order control system. So that was one specification. Coming to the next specification, which is called as resonant frequency or omega r, which is denoted by omega r. So what is the definition for this? As you can see, it is the frequency at which output magnitude is maximum. It is the frequency at which output magnitude is maximum. So magnitude, you know that already we have derived here, isn't it? Magnitude, which was given by mod of t. So I am representing that with small m. It is already known, you have derived. So just write down the magnitude, which is given by 1 by square root of 1 minus x square the whole square plus 2 zeta x the whole square, where x is equal to omega by omega n. So to calculate maximum of m, what you should do, you should differentiate this m once with respect to x and equate that to 0. So when you do that, see, we will differentiate now. dm by dx is equal to d by dx of, write down this term. So this is in denominator, right? I will take this entire term to numerator. So you will be differentiating what? 1 minus x square the whole square plus 2 zeta x the whole to the power minus 1 by 2, which is equal to 0. So this is how you write down. I hope you all have understood how I have written down this. Just I have taken this denominator term to the numerator, and instead of square root here I have taken it as minus half. It will, if it was in denominator, it would have been just to the power half, and then if you shift it to the numerator, it becomes minus half. That is equal to 0. Now let's differentiate this. So you know this minus half comes here, minus half into, write down this entire term, 1 minus x square the whole square plus 2 zeta x the whole square to the power, this is minus half plus 1, so it is minus 3 by 2 into, now again you have to differentiate whatever is there inside this because you have x terms. So when you differentiate 1, that becomes 0, correct? Write down this 2 into 1 minus x square, then differentiation of again this, so 1 becomes 0, so this is just minus 2x plus, what is this? This is 2 zeta x the whole square, so this 2 comes here, so 4 zeta square into, again you have to differentiate whatever is there inside this, so you will be getting it as 2x, correct, which is equal to 0. Okay, so this is how you differentiate. I'll repeat it, d by dx of this entire thing you have to differentiate. So this minus half comes here, write down this entire thing as it is, and now you have to write here minus half to the minus half plus 1, right? N plus 1, so n is minus half, so this is minus 3 by 2. Again you have to start differentiating the terms which are inside. So when you differentiate this term, so it is 2 times 1 minus x square into differentiation of this 1 minus x square, will 1 will be 0 and minus 2x, so that I have written down, plus this will be 4 zeta x the whole square. Again you differentiate this inside part, this is a constant, you will have be left with only 2x, which is equal to 0, correct? Now then what you have to do is, now see here, so there are two terms, one is this term and the other one is this term. So if I take this term this side, that means 0 divided by this, so that will just be 0, so you'll be left out only with this term, and then multiply that, so it will be minus 4x into 1 minus x square plus 8 zeta square into x, which is equal to 0. Then what is that you can do? You can take out 4x as common. So when you take out 4x as common, you will get this minus 1 minus x square plus 2 zeta square, and this whatever common, if you whatever you have taken out as common, if you bring it to this side, it will be 0 by that term, which remains 0. Then just take down this, multiply this will be x square, which is equal to, bring the other two terms aside, 1 minus 2 zeta square. So what is x? X is square root of 1 minus 2 zeta square. So what is x? X we already know, it is omega by omega n, but here this is a resonant frequency, so we are going to write this as omega r by omega n, which is equal to square root of 1 minus 2 zeta square. So that will be equal to omega r, which is equal to omega n times square root of 1 minus 2 zeta square, which is called as resonance frequency. So what is omega r? It is given by, the resonant frequency is given by omega n. Omega n means it stands for natural frequency. Omega n is square root of 1 minus 2 zeta square. So this is on what is resonance frequency. Now, next that we will be deriving is resonant peak in frequency response analysis. So resonant peak in frequency response analysis, which is denoted by M suffix P. So what is the definition for that? It is the peak value of magnitude of transfer function T of j omega. So magnitude of transfer function is given by what? M is equal to 1 divided by square root of 1 minus x square into x square the whole square plus 2 zeta x the whole square, where x is equal to omega by omega n. So to get maximum peak, frequency should be resonant frequency. So what is omega r? Which is omega r is given by omega n into square root of 1 minus 2 zeta square. So omega r by omega n is equal to square root of 1 minus 2 zeta square, which implies x is equal to square root of 1 minus 2 zeta square. To get maximum peak, what is that? You have to place x is equal to square root of 1 minus 2 zeta square. So wherever you have x in this equation, there you have to replace that by square root of 1 minus 2 zeta square. So that will give you MP, that is the peak resonant frequency, is equal to 1 divided by square root of 1 minus, in place of x, I will write it as 1 minus 2 zeta square, the whole square, correct? Because this square and this square root will get cancelled and you will be left with a square here, correct? Plus 2 zeta square into what is x again here? You can write it as, this is x square, right? So you can write it as 1 minus 2 zeta square. So when you do that, just simplify by removing the braces here. So that will give you 1 by square root of, remove the braces, multiply, and just see the terms. So this zeta has a maximum power. So I will write it here, 4 zeta to the power 4 plus 4 zeta square minus 8 zeta to the power 4. So what is MP? MP is equal to 1 divided by square root of 4 zeta square minus 4 zeta to the power 4, because you have these two terms where you can subtract, so that will give you minus 4 zeta to the power 4. So what is MP? That is equal to 1 divided by 2 zeta square root of 1 minus zeta square. So the peak resonant frequency is given by 1 divided by 2 zeta square root of 1 minus zeta square. Next, Next is the bandwidth. So what is the bandwidth? It is the range of frequencies over which the magnitude of P of j omega drops to 70.7% from its zero initial frequency value. So we had studied about the zero initial conditions and zero initial value or true value when we studied about the time domain specifications. So it is same here as well. So you just have to see that the point where it drops to 70.7% from its zero initial frequency value. So again, to derive the bandwidth, first you have to consider magnitude of transfer function. So magnitude of transfer function m is equal to 1 divided by square root of 1 minus x square the whole square plus 2 zeta x the whole square, where x is equal to omega by omega n. For zero frequency value, what is the value of omega? Omega will be 0, which implies x is equal to omega by omega n. So when omega is 0, this entire term becomes 0. So x will also be 0. So what is m now? In place of x, you have to substitute x as 0. So that will be 1 by square root of 1 minus 0 the whole square plus 0, which is equal to 1 by 1, that is equal to 1. So the magnitude is 1 at 70.7%. Now you have to consider for this. At 70.7% implies, what is 70.7%? So you just divide this by 100, you will get as 0.707, which is equal to 1 divided by square root of 1 minus x square the whole square plus 2 zeta x the whole square, which is equal to, you know that 0.707 is nothing but 1 by square root of 2. So just equate these two terms, these two sides. Both the sides you have the square root, which can be cancelled. So you will be left out with 1 minus x square the whole square plus 2 zeta x the whole square, which is equal to 2. So multiply this, you know this is a minus b the whole square. So 1 minus 2x square plus x to the power 4 plus 4 zeta square x square, which is equal to 2. So x power 4 plus 4 zeta square minus 2 into x square minus 1 is equal to 0, which implies x square is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a, that is equal to minus minus of, in place of b you have this term, so it is 4 zeta square minus 2 plus or minus square root of b square, so it is 4 zeta square minus 2 the whole square minus 4 into a is 1, the coefficient of this is 1 and the coefficient of this is minus 1, divided by 2 into a is 1, so it is just 2. Then just simplify further, which will give you minus 4 zeta square minus 2 plus or minus square root of 4 zeta square minus 2 the whole square plus 4 divided by 2. Consider the positive sign. We are going to consider here the positive sign. So this will be minus 2 zeta square minus 1. Okay, they have taken out as a common factor, and you will be, this denominator goes because 2 is taken out as common factor, so you will be left with minus 2 zeta square minus 1 plus or minus square root of 2 zeta square minus 1 the whole square plus 1, implies x square is equal to 1 minus, here just multiply this negative sign inside, so this will be positive, so I'll write down the positive term first, 1 minus 2 zeta square plus square root of 4 zeta to the power 4 minus 4 zeta square plus 2. Okay, so x is, this is x square, so we want x, so x is equal to the square root of this entire term, so x is omega bandwidth, right? So omega b by omega n, which is equal to square root of, just write down this as it is. So what will be omega b finally? The bandwidth factor will be omega b is equal to omega n into square root of 1 minus 2 zeta square plus square root of 4 zeta to the power 4 minus 4 zeta square plus 2. So this is the equation for finding out the bandwidth specification of frequency response analysis. So based on these parameters which we have derived, we have a problem to be taken now. So you can just see this, for a second order system with unity feedback, g of s is equal to 200 by s into s plus 8. So now you can see that this is having, in the denominator, this is having a maximum power as 2. So this is a second order system. Find the frequency response specifications. So first what you have to do, transfer function, see they have mentioned it as unity feedback, so consider the transfer function by unity feedback. So transfer function is given by g of s by 1 plus g of s into h of s, which is equal to 200 into, sorry, 200 divided by s into s plus 8 divided by 1 plus 200 by s into s plus 8, correct, because h of s is 1. So transfer function is given by 200 divided by s into s plus 8 plus 200, which is equal to 200 divided by s square plus 8s plus 200. So call that as equation number 1. Now what is that you have to do? Compare this equation with the second order equation, this general form of second order equation. So what is transfer function in that case? The general form of transfer function is, for second order control system, is omega n square divided by s square plus 2 zeta omega n into s plus omega n square, which implies omega n square is equal to 200, correct? This, when you compare these two expressions, you will get omega n square as 200. That implies omega n is equal to square root of 200, which is given by 14. When you calculate this, it is 14.14 radians per second. Frequency omega is always, the natural frequency omega n is always denoted, I mean, it has a unit as radians per second. Then you have this term 2 zeta omega n. So this, when you compare, it will be equal to 8. So what is zeta from this? It is 8 divided by 2 into 14.14, which you have already computed here. So that will be equal to 0.282. It has no units, it has no dimension. And then next, resonant frequency omega r is equal to omega n into square root of 1 minus 2 zeta square, which is equal to 14.14 into square root of 1 minus 2 into 0.282 the whole square. So that is equal to 12.96 radians per second. Then what is resonant peak? Resonant peak formula is m suffix r is equal to 1 by 2 zeta square root of 1 minus zeta square, which is equal to 1 by 2 into what is the value of zeta? It is 0.282 into square root of 1 minus 0.282 the whole square, that is equal to 1.84. So all these values you should be careful when you are computing it. Do it properly in your calculators. Then the final specification is the cutoff bandwidth. So the cutoff bandwidth omega c is what? Omega n into square root of, you have that formula 1 minus 2 zeta square plus square root of 4 zeta to the power 4 minus 4 zeta square plus 2. So that is equal to, in place of omega n, write it as 14.4 because you have found the value to be 14.4, and substitute for zeta. Then finally, when you calculate this, you will get the cutoff bandwidth omega c or omega b. You can write it as n as per your comfort, whether it has omega c or omega b, which is given by, which is equal to 20.68 radians per second. So this is the bandwidth. So this is how you do the calculation. Okay, I'll just get back to the screen. Okay, so this is about just a moment.